Hey everyone, I'm back and today we're going to be talking about Beale Street Part 1, 1994. And this movie is on Netflix and it came out in 2021 and I missed it when it first came out and I don't even know why. Because I like horror movies and I'm always interested to see what's new. And I was kind of late to the party on this one. So now I finally got to see it, and I thought this movie was very bad, very stupid, and while I was watching it, I was constantly just taking notes, and there's a lot that I have to say about this movie, because first off, nothing makes any sense, and the plot, I'm just going to skip talking about the plot, because like I said, nothing makes any sense, and if I were to describe the plot, it's going to take me like 10 minutes to do that, and I do not want to do that, so I'm just going to skip over that. And I'm just going to get into what I liked really quickly, because it's only going to take me like a minute to talk about the positives I have for this movie. And it's really just the opening scene, really. It's not like a great opening. It's very tropey and very much what you would expect. It's like the slasher movie where the slasher gets the first kill, and there were some colors that I kind of liked. It looked very colorful. I know it's kind of tropey to do that, and it having to be like the first kill of the movie, it'd just be the opening scene. And as true as that is, it felt at the very least the closest to what I wanted to get out of the movie. And I'm not saying it was a great scene, but it was at least something kind of fun. And I was kind of enjoying where it was going. I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be like Scream or something like that. And then the movie goes along and we're introduced to some other characters that we've never met. And the movie kind of felt like in 1994 for a little bit, and then it all of a sudden did not once characters started talking, because everyone talks like modern day characters. And nothing about it felt authentic, and it was just kind of annoying. And all of the characters in this movie are annoying, and I just wanted them all to die. And this movie has an awful, awful sense of pacing. And this movie is not even 2 hours long, and there is a point in this movie where they're like coming up with a plan, like our main group of heroes. They're coming up with a plan to like defeat the antagonist, or like try something against the antagonist, or like, because we still haven't fully figured out what's going on in the plot. And when that was happening, just like watching the movie, I was like, okay, this feels like it's starting to wrap up. But then I scroll down and see how far into the movie am I? And I could not believe it. And it just deflated all the tension that was going on in this scene, because I had to look at the time code. And I was like halfway through the movie when that happened. I was like, are you kidding me? We have done nothing so far. Finally, something is happening. And it's not even, like, this isn't even the end. We're still going. And that was just absolutely frustrating. But I will say this, I have seen the second movie at this point, but I will say this, unlike the second movie, I did enjoy this movie kind of ironically. Like the amount of times the characters made stupid decisions, and the acting is terrible, and like all that combined, it just made this movie like almost a blast to watch. Like I didn't even care that the movie was like still going on, because I was just enjoying how horrible the movie was. And also, talking about the technical qualities really quickly, like the way the movie is shot, it's not interesting to watch really, because there's hardly any wide shots in this movie. I never get a sense of the location that we're at really, and it's like, oh, I can kind of make out where we're at, but for the most part, I'm just watching the movie. I was like, what room are they in? Where are we? Like, I can tell if it's inside or outside, but that's it. I want to see the location. Let me see. It felt so restrictive that it was distracting to me. This movie is also filled with cliches and everything you've seen in a horror movie a million times, like a shadow walks past the screen, and jump scares, stuff like that, and it's so annoying. And the dialogue is terrible, like I've mentioned already, and there are certain characters who are just already know what's going to happen. Like the kid, he already knows what's going on. Like that computer kid, I forget his name, but he's like on his computer and has like a blanket over him while he's on the computer because he doesn't want anyone to know that he's using the computer. But anyways, I'll overlook that because I really don't want to get into that. But he just like knows everything. Like exposition is like what his character is for, and like he has all these different papers, and it explains what the plot is and what's going on in the plot, and it just feels like he's there to explain what's going on in the plot, and that's his only purpose. And the characters I feel are incredibly underdeveloped, and I don't care about any of them. They're really annoying, and the characters are worse in the next movie, but I'll get to that soon. And also, one thing that really bugged me about the acting in this movie is even in the opening scene, which I said I kind of enjoyed, when characters get cut or sliced, like by a knife or a weapon, something sharp, and they're bleeding, you would expect them to go, ow, or like show that they're in pain or scream that they're in pain. But no, like everyone's just quiet, like, oh, this is happening to me. Oh, blood is all over the place. It's my blood, and this isn't normal. Like, that's the most you get from a character being scared in this movie, and it's so distracting, and it just drags down the entire experience for me. But it's pretty entertaining at the very least, because it's so stupid, I can just enjoy it. And I did find this movie to be very repetitive, like I was just watching the same thing happen over and over again. And one last time I'm going to say this, it's worse in the next movie, but again, I'll get into that. But also, one last thing that I want to mention before I wrap everything up. The movie did feel like it was, for a while, like it was a mix of Halloween and Scream in ways, but it had none of the elements that made those movies work. And as the movie went along, it started to feel like other horror movies that I liked, and it just kept making me think, this is why it worked in those movies, and here's why it doesn't work in this movie. And the special effects looked like special effects in this movie, and nothing about it felt real, nothing about it felt genuine, or like the people making the movie wanted to communicate something. It's just a very bland slasher movie that apparently a lot of people like, and I don't understand. Like, it, even as a slasher movie, it's not satisfying for me, at least. And that's about all I have to say about Fear Street Part 1, 1994. It's terrible. If you're looking for a funny bad movie, I would recommend it. Otherwise, skip this movie. It's not worth your time. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Fear Street Part 1, 1994 a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Fear Street Part 1, 1994, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and it's Fear Street Part 2, 1978. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.